Welcome to Conversations with Tenzin. I'm doing this podcast because I meet a lot of interesting, a lot of fascinating people on campus and in my life. So I don't want to forget the people and their stories, especially their stories. So today with me I have my very good friend Nadia from Trinidad and Tobago. So Nadia, welcome to the podcast.
Hi, thank you Tenzin for having me here.
And Nadia, I'm going to start this podcast by asking your story. So I want to know where you come from and how did you get here, so everything in between.
Well, Tenzin, as you said in the introduction, I'm from Trinidad and Tobago. It's in the Caribbean. I am I live in the main island, Trinidad, and I live in a town called Sangre Grande, which is on the eastern part of Trinidad. So I would have grown up in Sangre Grande, gone to school there. Gone to primary school there. I went to school with a lot of my cousins. A lot of my cousins went to the same school, so that was fun. And my secondary school, or high school, was actually in St. Augustine. It's St. Augustine Girls High School, which is an all-girls high school. Okay. And it's considered like one of the best schools in the country. Nice. Yes. So I would have had to travel from Sangre Grande to St. Augustine every day for 7 years.
That's wonderful.
Yes, a journey that took maybe about 45 minutes to an hour, one way, each
Public
way.
Transportation, right?
Not public transport. We had private.
Okay.
There was a private van or taxi that used to take us. It was about 24 of us, going to school.
So being a child and traveling for 45 minutes to the school and back, didn't it or weren't you tired and get back home or get to school?
Yeah, it was very difficult getting up in the morning to go to school because I would have to wake up, get dressed, and my two brothers who went to school in Sangre Grande were still asleep by the time I left home. So,
yeah, I can imagine.
Yes, so yeah, I mean it was, there were challenges, but that's a sacrifice you have to make to get, quality of education that a school like that would offer. So that would have been part of the foundation. Of course, my foundation would have been from primary school, even from just home, just the influences at home. All of that would have influenced. Yes.
Yeah, I know because I also kind of invested my time in my son's education in a sense that I had to drive him very far. I had to drive like an hour every day.
Yes.
So yeah, I kind of felt sorry for him that he has traveled so far, but we knew that you have to do this for a good education.
Yes, exactly. I mean, there are no regrets there. Maybe at the time I'm like, oh, why do I have to wake up so early?
So how was your high schooling and how did you, what made you pursue the interest that you have right now from school? How is that connected?
I was always interested in geography, and that was my favorite subject. Okay. So that would have influenced my choice to pursue environmental management at the University of the West Indies, which is also in St. Augustine. So that was another 3 years of traveling from Sangre Grande to St. Augustine every day. Yeah, so 10 years total.
How long was this for now?
3 years.
I mean the distance.
It's the same distance. My high school and university are very close to each other. Okay. So yes, it's more or less the same distance. Yes.
After you finished your school, did you decide to join the government directly, or what was your journey like to?
So my first job out of university was actually in the government because there's a program called on-the-job training program. Where they place recent graduates for a period of 6 months, or at the time when I did it, it was a 6-month period. So upon reflecting, I suppose that was my first step into government. When I worked there, and then I got a job at a local consultancy firm who specialized in environmental assessments. So, I traveled throughout Trinidad and Tobago and even some parts of the Caribbean doing environmental assessments, doing air monitoring, noise monitoring, water quality testing, sediment testing, all of that, bird watching, ecological surveys.
You started with such a wide variation, and now we know that you are so interested in noise control and noise pollution.
Yes, so that I would have worked eventually. The experiences I had would have led me to the current job that I have, which is a technical officer at the Environmental Management Authority. When I actually started, the position was called Noise Administrator.
Yes, it's such an interesting job position name.
Yes, it is. It really is. I got a lot of questions, a lot of questions.
About what is this job?
Yes, because it was the first time, it was the first
of a kind.
Exactly. It was the first, I was the first, well, I still am, but the job was created and I, interviewed and I applied, I interviewed and I was placed in this position. Yes.
That's wonderful because our group will always remember you as an advocate for noise pollution, and I am quite amazed because I did not think about this before, but now going forward, if I'm doing any planning work or any projects, I think this is going to be at the back of my head.
Yes.
I think that kind of awareness, I think you have been very successful in advocating in us.
I'm glad to have had that impact on you
Yes.
and, some of our other fellows. So I'm, my work has been
Not yet.
not done, but yes.
Yeah.
Now my work has reached international
borders. It has
Yes.
crossed international borders.
Yes.
So Nadia, we have had this amazing 10 months of Humphrey Fellowship. We have completed it together. So what do you feel this program has brought into your life, or how has it changed you from the person you were?
Yes, so it has broadened my perspective, truly. The way that I thought before, because I've never left Trinidad and Tobago, other than for vacation purposes. I've been educated, and all my work experience, most of my work experience has been in Trinidad and Tobago, and then just generally the Caribbean. It has been a really interesting experience living in the U.S. and observing the U.S. systems and the way things are done here, and as well as interacting with fellows from all different countries in the world, and just being amazed that we have so many differences, but at the same time we have so many similarities. Some of our issues are the same against different backdrops, but the basics of it are the same. So it's, on the one hand, it's a broadening of my horizon and my perspective, and on the other hand, it's that knowledge that your problems are not entirely unique. They are unique to you and your setting, but you're not entirely alone in facing issues that you may have. So there's a bit of camaraderie, and you can look forward, you can look out and speak to people and come up with solutions and share experiences. So, yes.
And personally, what has it brought into your life? How do you think you have changed as a person?
I think as a person, I have become more open.
Okay.
Yes.
That's good.
Well, yes, I think I've, the way I approach, the way that I think that I would look at an issue now, it's from all different angles, not just,
our angle, right?
Yes,
we have
not
this
just
one.
my specific, not just a straight path. It's not a straight path. That is what I would say. It's
Wonderful.
not a straight path at all. It's a very windy road, you know.
So, okay, so with this, you can say, knowledge gained and the experiences that you had here, what are your plans going forward?
Going forward, I have to think about that. I have a few, ideas of where I want to be, where I want to go, or what I want to pursue. And too early to tell.
Okay.
I mean, immediately I go back, I return to my job as a technical officer, dealing with noise pollution.
With more experience. And
oh yes,
more
with
tools.
more experience, with more
tools. I think.
Tools,
yeah.
yes, tools definitely, and a different perspective.
Oh, nice.
Yes, a different perspective on, how things can be approached. Yes.
Well, I would like to wish you all the best, and I know you're going to do some amazing work going back.
Thank you, Tenzin.
I think this is something that we have learned through this program, that not just it's only about our perspective, but it's about taking into consideration a whole rounded kind of approach.
Yes.
So this is something that we have learned here. So
yes. It's not going to be an easy road ahead, especially if you're at a level, at the government level, because you have to cater for everyone's needs. And sometimes you have to make decisions that not everyone is going to be happy with, but and that's the difficult part of the whole.
But you have to do it.
But you have to do it. So
somebody has to do it.
yes. So yes.
So yeah, to end this conversation, my last question to you is something that asks everyone: is what motivates you? What gets you out of the bed every day and makes you do the things that you do every day?
What motivates me? I think what motivates me is my support system. That I have a really good support system. And a lot of people have contributed to my development and, to be the person that I am today. My parents, of course, have laid a great foundation for me. My grandmother was really instrumental in, my upbringing and some of the values that I have now. And now my husband Ryan, he's a great motivator in my life.
Ryan is an amazing guy.
Yes, he motivates me in that he sees me, or he allows me to see myself in a way that I wouldn't see. He gives me a different perspective of myself, and it's this, that I can do anything, and he's very supportive, and very supportive of that. And it's like the world, there are no limits to what you can achieve. So yes, that's my motivation.
Those are really beautiful motivation, and yeah, I think it's very important to have a very supportive partner. And Ryan is an amazing guy. I've met him, and he is a really nice guy. So Nadia, thank you so much for taking time today and agreeing to do this conversation with me.
Yes, thank you, Tenzin. It was wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So thank you so much for listening to Conversation with Tenzin. This is a podcast where I am trying to capture the people, the amazing, wonderful, and motivated people that I meet on campus and in my life. And I want to capture not just the people, but their stories, especially their stories. So this is the reason why I'm doing this podcast. Thank you so much for listening to Conversation with Tenzin.